Convido agora o enviado especial para o clima da Indonésia, senhor HASHIM DJOJOHADIKUSUMO.
Excellencies, heads of states and governments, ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you all here today as Indonesia's special presidential envoy on climate and energy, representing President Prabowo Subianto, who is unable to address this distinguished conference of parties. Indonesia comes to Belém with a clear message. We remain committed in strengthening our national climate commitments and stand ready to work with all nations to deliver real, inclusive, and ambitious climate actions. President Prabowo's pronouncement at the United Nations General Assembly reaffirmed our pledge to adhere to the Paris Agreement to reach net zero emissions by 2060 or sooner. Indonesia also commits to achieving its higher growth target of 8% in a sustainable manner. Our green growth strategy is reflected and etched in our second nationally determined contribution. We set targets at 1.2 gigatons carbon dioxide equivalent under the low scenario and 1.5 gigatons under the high scenario by 2035. Our commitment includes higher renewable energy targets, reaching 23% of our energy mix by 2030, and development of other technologies such as nuclear power as part of our clean energy transition. Our enhanced forestry and other land uses, or FOLU, NETSIC 2030 program remains to be a key pillar in our national commitment targeting a net reduction by 1992 to 118 million tons of carbon dioxide by 2030. President Prabowo's administration is moving decisively to phase down coal, expand renewable energy and biofuels, and advance mandates for biodiesel and bioethanol. These efforts not only strengthen our energy security, but also ensure that Indonesia's energy transformation benefits all citizens and mankind. President Prabowo recently enacted Presidential Regulation number 109 on waste to energy and 110 on carbon economic value, which are the instruments for our national decarbonization financing and greenhouse gases emissions control framework. President Prabowo fully supports Brazil's Tropical Forest Forever Facility, TFFF initiative, a $125 billion fund to support forest nations. Indonesia will actively participate in it and has committed to match Brazil's contribution of $1 billion. Indonesia's record shows strong progress. Our average annual deforestation rate has fallen to the lowest level in 2 decades, representing a 75% reduction since 2019. We are also investing in wildlife protection by developing elephant corridors and community-based conservation programs in collaboration with international and local partners. This resonates with our call for closer integration of climate and biodiversity agendas, consistent with the joint climate nature declaration of COP28, to which Indonesia is a pride signatory. Indonesia also holds around 17% of the world's blue carbon reserves, 3.4 gigatons of carbon dioxide. Protecting and restoring these ecosystems is essential, not only to sequester carbon, but also sustain coastal livelihoods, enhance fisheries productivity, protect shorelines from erosion and sea level rise, and conserve marine biodiversity. Indonesia emphasizes that climate action must be just, inclusive, and people-centered. We recognize the disproportionate impacts of climate change on vulnerable groups, coastal areas, and indigenous communities, women, and persons with disabilities. Earlier this year, President PRABOWO officially announced to the world our bold commitment to recognize and allocate 1.4 million hectares of customary forest to the indigenous and local communities within the next 4 years. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia comes to COP30 as a constructive and consensus-driven partner. The themes of this conference, forests, critical minerals, finance, biodiversity, and adaptation, align closely with our priorities. We are determined to help shape a balanced and forward-looking global agreement. Indonesia stands ready to lead, cooperate, contribute, and support all other climate action programs so that together we can build a climate-resilient world where no one is left behind. The long and tedious negotiation period is over, and this is the time for action to take place. Thank you. Obrigado.